Today, let's talk about settings in Claude. So, settings underlie everything we do. They are, in some ways, like a pre-prompt. It's as if you were going through and pre-prompting the AI before you put in the prompt of the task you're trying to do. So, it lays the groundwork, lays the foundation for everything you're going to do. So, you want to get them right. You want to take the time to go through them. It actually is pretty important. Most people, I think, just sign up, log in, and start using it, but you do want to go through the steps of setting up your settings properly. So this shouldn't take too long, but let's jump in. So I'm in the desktop app as usual, but you can do this in the browser also. You'll go to the bottom left, and the settings will be right there waiting for you. We won't go through all of them. I will say you should take the time to go through all of them. It doesn't take too long. You do it the first time, then they are set up, although I do think you need to iterate in some cases. So I wouldn't do it once and forget about it. If you're finding that you're having some issue with prompts or something like that, consider coming to settings and checking whether there is something you can do there to make it work better all the time. So just going to the general settings first, nothing too surprising in here. It's all pretty intuitive. As you can see, it asks for your name. I mentioned in a past video, I have it call me boss. I just find it funny. I don't think it makes it more obedient or follow me more closely or anything. So that's less important. But then you'll also see you can have instructions for Claude. And this is a good example of what I mentioned before, a pre-prompt. It assumes this prompt is part of every other prompt in some sense. So I say, always be direct. I want to hear the truth. I don't want it to sugarcoat with me or to give me what I'm looking for. I want it to give me the actual answer. I also say never say happy Monday. I find it annoying. That's my personal preference. So both you should add things here that are your personal preferences, but also things that are likely to get you better results and what you're looking for. Other than that, there's some display settings here and some other settings that you can check out. It's, as I said, fairly intuitive. You can read the descriptions. If you don't understand something, you can ask AI or search it on the internet. Often you'll find something there with good detail. Privacy is one to check out also. I do turn off help improve Claude. No offense, Claude, but I just don't want my data used like that. It may be perfectly fine. I just tilt towards security, and so I have that off. There's also some details here on how they protect your data and some other settings. As I said, read through them all, look at them carefully, make sure you understand them. Then let's jump to capabilities. You'll see in general I have my settings on because I want to use all the features that Claude has. I trust it. It's secure for the most part, so it's, you never know what's perfect, but at this point I trust Claude and Anthropic pretty well. We'll see if that works out in the long term. But most of these are on. Either way, take your time, read through each one, see what makes sense. As I mentioned before, iterate. If you find in some cases it has too much memory or not enough memory, you can turn these things on and off. If you know you want to use some of these things or not use some of these things, turn them on and off. But they're fairly straightforward. They'll give titles, they'll give definitions. So all these things are not complicated to do. So take your time, read through each one, turn them on and off. Connectors we'll have a separate video about, but turn these on and off also as you want to connect to things. You'll see the settings here and how to configure them and how to use them. Cowork has its own settings also. Dispatch is a tool that lets you use your desktop Claude from your phone, which can be fun to use, but may not be necessary. I have it on and I do use it once in a while. I've had it look up files for me on my computer when I was somewhere else. Also here are your global instructions for Claude, so for Claude Cowork. So this applies to every session I start with Cowork. You can see in my case I talk about deterministic code versus AI because I find that Cowork is very fast to use AI where it can use something deterministic like regular code. And so I find I get better results with something like this. So feel free to add that or something that you think you want to use to improve your experience. Claude in Chrome is how it uses Chrome. I think I talked before about how powerful Claude Cowork is and the desktop app is, and that it can use your Chrome, can use your desktop, can use your files and your computer. So this just has some settings related to that. And then this is the desktop app, which we installed in a previous session. And you can see it just has the settings related to the desktop app itself. So I'm in that right now. It's not the browser version. It's the one that you downloaded and installed on your computer. As usual, most of my settings are on, but you can read through each one, run on startup, things like that. Just take your time. Make sure you get it right. Set it up right. You're going to be using this a lot, a real lot. So take the time to get it right. Extensions is another view of the connectors. So you'll see these will look very similar to if you click Browse Extensions. It actually just takes you to the connectors view. So this gives Claude more power to do things on your computer. I'll keep hitting this in several of these sessions, but these are really, really good tools to help AI do some incredible things by giving it more context and more tools to have more data, more information, and also do stuff with that information. So pretty straightforward. As I said, I wasn't going to go through too much detail. The main point is take your time to go through each one of these and set it up properly and research. If you're wondering how something works, take the time to research. And I'll keep coming back to the point that before you do a task, ask whether AI can do it for you and how it can do it for you. As you look at some of these settings and some of these connectors and some of these skills and plugins, you'll realize that it can get very powerful very fast and do a lot of things for you. So one of the things to start with is start with the settings and get those right.